carbide tipped on this one. 60 tooth should leave a nice fine finish. Let's kick things off by getting the dust collection set up on the table saw. This is the DWE 7491 table saw with the blade guard attachment on the saw. The attachment for our 2.5-inch hose dust collection is a DWV 9000 in the DWV 9191. Okay, so I know I'm gonna hear from people, get a truck, but this is what I do. In the Home Depot parking lot, I buy a 4x8 sheet because that's the most economical option instead of getting those project panels. I then know that I want to do 2 sides of my shelf, and so I got an 11 1/4, and then a little bit extra. So I cut in the Home Depot parking lot using my battery-powered skill saw. I cut a 23-inch sheet, and then I rip it down to my 11 1/4, and then I have a little bit left, and that was my snapped free-handed cut on the skill saw or circular saw that's left over. That piece is pretty straight actually, but it's not as good. It's not cabinet quality good. So that's my scrap, and these are my nice and crisp lines from the factory edge I start with, and then that's my cut lines that came out really nice. So that's the way I do it, and then I can buy sheets and put them in my car and have no issue when you don't have a truck to lug full sheets around in. First start by ripping down the plywood for the drawer base frame. After I cut all my panels, I pre-drill my holes with a countersink bit, and using wood screws I attach my panels from the outside. Where screws will be seen, I use pocket holes from the inside. I typically like to mark out and measure the distances between screws. Some like to eyeball it, it's really up to you. Once the drawer base frame has been made, you can then work on the face frame. The frame can be as thick or thin as you want. It all depends on the style of your drawers. I'm making my frame primarily out of 3/4 inch poplar and using CA glue plus pocket holes to keep everything together. It's important to note if you're making inset drawers, the drawer face will sit fully inside your drawer frame. On an overlay drawer face, the face of the drawer sits against the face frame. This project here consists of inlay drawer face frames, and my rough openings inside this face frame have been measured so that the full drawer insert can clear the entire opening of that face frame without interference. So I ended up doing these little supports in between each shelf. I put this one in, but this is basically what it looks like. pocket holes on this side because this is going to be seen, so I don't want any pocket holes or side screws on this side of the drawer front. And then these come up through the front just like this in here, and that's going to support the side walls and the drawer frame going in just like that. So here's my drawers. The way it sits, I need to now install my drawer inserts. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be spacing out where I want my drawer slides to go, where to be placed. Now, when you're speccing out how big of a drawer you want, say I have a 16-inch drawer, if you're going to use 1/2-inch thick slides, you're going to want to have 1 inch extra of space on your width. So in that case, I have a 16-inch drawer base. This is going to be 17, so then I have a 1/2-inch drawer slide on one side and a 1/2-inch drawer slide on the other side. Now, where you want to place your drawer slide as far as on the side walls of this drawer carcass, you're going to make spacers, and I'm spacing it 1/4 inch up from the edge of this first initial opening. So here I have some spacers made. I place them inside of the opening, and now I have a nice surface that's going to follow this base perfectly to mount my drawer slides on. And it's important to take these off on a 3-tier slide. Take that last slide off, and then that will expose your screws for mounting it, and then I can put it in place. I want to install it right up against that edge right here. Same thing with this side. I'm gonna let it sit back just a little bit from the edge, and then I can mount that in place just like that. So now, as you can see, I can mount those in place, and that is step 1 of hanging your drawer inserts in place with drawer slides. And essentially, we're going to be doing that on every single step of this drawer base. Okay, so once I have those slides mounted, I bring my spacers to the inside so that my drawer insert can sit on top of those spacers. And then I'm going to bring my slides out to get access to that first mounting hole. So what I'll do is I'm going to bring those out far enough to get access to the first hole. And then I'm going to slide that drawer front in and try to keep these slides from going in with it. Now I've marked out on the side of the drawer on each side where that slide needs to go in order for the front of this insert to stick out into the pocket. And what I'm going to do is bring that back, and I'm going to shim up the bottom so that I have my 1/4 inch, just to make sure I have that 1/4 inch, so the shelf sticking up that 1/4 inch that I need off of that bottom edge. And then I'm going to screw my first screw in place. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go to the next screw in line. You're going to keep using that shim to shim that drawer up to keep it nice and straight. The first screw that you put in here is going to keep it from dipping down in the front, but those shims on the inside of your drawer and the 1/4 inch shim or whatever you want to use for a shim here is keeping that drawer from sinking. And then I'm going to go to my second mounting location on the drawer slide. And I'm going to attach right there. And after you've gotten two in place, you should be able to bring it out pretty successfully without it dropping on you. But just in case, you can put that shim in one more time in the back, and you can screw in that last one. Take your shim out. Take that shim out. And then boom. Drawer front's gonna be sitting now a 1/4 inch from that bottom edge, and that thing should glide out nice if it was done properly. And like I said, I made that a little bit lower than that opening because I wanted clearance there. When I go to put my drawer front in, that's gonna sit and it's gonna be spaced evenly, so there's a reveal on all 4 sides of that drawer front. But this is how you insert the drawer base inside of it, the carcass. We're gonna take our shim and we're gonna be shimming up the next level. So I'm gonna take my shim, come in, put those 1/4 inch on, and then another inch worth of plywood on top. After that inch of plywood gets installed, I'm gonna have a nice 1/4 inch right here sitting up on this thing. There's my 1/4 inch spacer right here, nice and flush. So then I'm going to take my drawer slide. Again, you're gonna take your drawer slide and remove that 3rd level on the slide out, so that gives you better access to the mounting holes. And then you're gonna turn it around, put it on your frame where you want it. I'm leaving mine a little bit recessed inside of the drawer base, and then I'm going to install from there.